Alright, so I've just been going through my gluten-free Shelftember basket, trying to work out what I'm going to make for dinner. And I pulled out this beef bone broth, and then I was going to do some kind of pasta dish. I have chicken legs and I have mince, and I was like, oh, I can do that. That's pretty normal. But I really wanted to try this textured vegetable protein. I've heard good things about it, and I think it'd work well with the beef bone broth. I've never tasted this before, but it should give it beef flavor. And then if I was doing mince, I'd add lentils, because that's my new go-to to make it go further. So I'm going to do that, and I want to try this. So I grabbed out a gluten-free pasta. It's only 350 grams, so that should be plenty. And then instead of using the mince, I thought I have an odd number of sausages, not enough for like a sausage meal. So I think I'm going to use the sausages as my meat and extra protein. So we'll have this, the bone broth, this, and then I will probably thicken it up with a little bit of corn flour, maybe some cheese. I don't know. We'll go from there. We've also got some coconut milk I could add, but not, my hubby and kids aren't a huge fan of coconut flavor, so we'll see. Alright, so I went into the fridge. I grabbed 2 carrots, an onion, and garlic for flavor, some vegetable, and we should have a meal. This looks pretty much like a meal for me here. So I'm going to make this a one-pot meal because I don't want to do any more dishes than I have to, and let's do that now. So reading the packet on the TVP, it was 1 cup of protein to 1 cup of boiling water. It did also say you could add it to vegetable stock or something to take on that flavor, but I didn't read that until later because, yeah, busy mum, busy night. So I did that, set that out on the counter. It really didn't take long at all to sort of absorb. So yeah, I moved on. I chopped an onion. I have a wok in the background on high heat with some oil in it. So I chopped up an onion, throw that in there to caramelize. And then I'm going to finely dice my carrots, although they didn't end up as fine as I like. I was busy chatting to the kids and they were fighting, and it was a whole thing, as mums would know. So I ended up skipping the lentils on this meal. After I put everything together and I looked at how much everything was, I decided that it didn't need it, that we still got 6 servings of this pasta, and I could save the lentils for a future meal like chili or bolognese, stuff like that. So put that back in the pantry for later this week. You can see how these are way too big, like I was saying, but this is home cooking. It doesn't have to be pretty. So yeah, I'm microwaving the sausages now to defrost because I was going to add them in to be my meat instead of, and just have the textured vegetable protein sort of be a bulking agent. I ended up not using them. Looking at it, tasting it, and everything like that, I just didn't feel like it needed it. So I defrosted them. They're in my fridge. They will be used for probably a lunch today or a dinner or lunch tomorrow because the kids will be off with a pupil-free day. So there's a good idea. I'll do a sausage sizzle. Done. So you can see I've just sauteed that onion, those carrots, which you saw me adding in as I was chopping them, and a good tablespoon of garlic. And here's how the TVP turned out. Just going to dump that straight in there. Tell me that doesn't look like cooked mince. There's the bone broth after I mixed it through. Here you go. I think it was only a 500 ml packet, so it's not a ton. I added in my pasta and then I just put in enough boiling water to cover. I use boiling water because that doesn't take as long because it's keeping the heat in. I'm not bringing the heat down and then the pasta heat back up again, and then it's just better and you don't end up with soggy pasta this way. Now, like I said, I think I should have kept the TVP out and just rehydrated it in the stock dry. I'll know that for future, and I'll do that in the future. But here it is with the pasta all cooked. It didn't take very long at all. And then I'm just going to add some corn flour slurry to thicken that up. I added salt, some pepper, a little bit of MSG because I really wanted to bring out that flavor. And yeah, that's really all it needed. Salt, pepper. I did end up adding a extra beef stock cube because of all that water I added to make it more beefy. But no, this was really good. And there is tonight's dinner. I could have added cheese or cream to it. I decided not to, so this is completely dairy free, which hubby will be grateful for. And I think it's gonna be really good. I will check back with you and let you know what I think. So I forgot to record my experience with the TVP last night, the textured vegetable protein. So here I am today. I served that meal to hubby. I didn't tell him anything. I asked everyone how they liked it, and then I dropped on him that it was vegetarian. Technically vegetarian. I did use that bone broth packet, that beef bone broth packet, and it did have actual beef bones in it, so not vegetarian. But if I hadn't used that, and that was just to clear it out of my basket, and I just used beef stock cubes, those are vegetarian, those are vegan, the whole meal would have been vegan. So, but no, they really liked it, and I was planning originally on just mixing the TVP in with my mince just to extend it, but we had it by itself with obviously that beef flavor to it because of the stock and the stock cubes, and hubby loved it. The kids loved it. I do think it was a little bit overdone because I soaked it first and then I did a one pot meal with it. I probably would add it dry in the future in that kind of situation, and then it'll rehydrate in the actual stock and broth, which would probably make it a little thicker and a bit more flavorful and help with the texture. It was just the slightest bit over, just like pasta when it's just the slightest bit over. But no, really like it. Going to be using that semi-regularly in some things like probably spaghetti bolognese, chili con carne, stuff like that. And I just did 1 cup of TVP and 1 cup of boiling water, and I'll just add that in. I skipped the lentils because I just didn't feel like it needed it, and I can save that for another meal. So super cheap, super easy. I used up that bone broth packet, which wasn't too bad, by the way. It's from Aldi. I got it on clearance for like $4, and it had a very like Asian coriander, ginger, lemongrassy kind of feel to it. So maybe use that in Asian cooking. I generally make my own bone broth, but I just haven't been lately. Although, if I can find some cheap bones over Shelftember, I might make some bone broth for you guys and throw that in the freezer to help refill. So yeah, TVP, winner. Lentils in the mince, which we tried last month, winner. So super excited about that. I'm doing these things to bulk out our meals and increase the health, because obviously red meat is a class 1 carcinogen. So adding these things so we're still enjoying meat. We're not going vegetarian or vegan. We're still enjoying meat. We're just making it go a bit further, and it's helping the cost for our family because yes, a tin of lentils is 80 cents and the TVP was $2, it's now $2.50. But if it makes more, I'm getting more meals out of it, I'm feeding more people, it's bringing down our cost per person, per serve, per meal. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, if you like this kind of content, to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the little notification bell to be notified when I post new videos. And let me know below if you've tried TVP or if you want to try TVP, what you thought. I would love more info.